Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and helping me hit 1K subs by my birthday in March. With all of that out of the way, let's get into the Gorge.
The Gorge
Now,
trailer.
would I recommend the Gorge? Kind of, maybe. Let's talk it out. Let's walk through this, okay? So the Gorge was released on February 14th, Valentine's Day. This was about last week or 2 weeks ago. Directed by Scott Derrickson, written by Zach Dean. So it's about two highly operative, highly trained agents of both the West and East. So West being the United States, the East being Russia, and they become close after being sent to protect opposite sides of a mysterious gorge. When evil emerges, they must walk together to survive what lies within. Sounds like a horror movie, right? I recently looked it back up too, and now it's labeled as an action romance. I feel I've been duped. And please leave a comment and let me know if you as well have been duped, because I feel this movie was marketed as a horror movie, maybe a horror thriller. I get it, horror is an umbrella, there's different sub genres to it. But I really thought with marketing, they really marketed up the horror aspect of this movie, especially with Scott Derrickson at the helm to direct it, right? Scott Derrickson, Sinister, one of my favorite movies. Thought we're about to dive in to some Lovecraftian horror. This is going to be awesome, right? Cool concept, failed execution. Maybe that's the best way I could put this. So the first half of the movie, and by the way, this movie feels like there's two movies mashed into one. It's over 2 hours long, a little over 2 hours. And the first hour, we're establishing our characters, right? We're met with Levi, who's played by Miles Teller. And then we're met with Drasa, who is played by Anna Taylor-Joy. Sigourney Weaver plays the generic bad person executive spook kind of deal, right? She brings in Levi, who's this former military high up, like assassin, not assassin, sniper, because Drasa is the assassin, because the opening of the movie shows her assassinating someone from afar. So he is this brooding, handsome, mysterious dude, has no family, no loved ones, no connection, writes poetry and reads poetry as well. No shame. He's like every single dude I have seen described almost in all like modern day romance fantasy novels. The very brooding, mysterious, he could kill someone, but yet he's sensitive and soft and reads poetry, okay? And then Drasa, I like Anna Taylor-Joy. There were very compelling moments in the beginning of this movie, especially the scene with her father. I just she fell a little flat for me. Uh, she's very much the assassin woman who can do it herself on her own, and but she's very sensitive with Levi when they eventually, she's only vulnerable with him. Yeah, okay. So when we're met with these characters, they're brought to their post. They're told they can't communicate with each other. By the way, it is like a rotating post. Like every year, I guess they rotate someone new into it. And when they were doing this, when they were establishing that, because Levi meets the person who was this particular past year, he fills them in on what's going on, that they protect humanity from what's the evil within, which are these things called hollow men that look like World War Z, Last of Us mix zombie CGI creatures, is the best way I can put it. And while this was establishing that relationship between them, and he was filling in Levi about, they have a garden, there's a game around there that he could kill to eat, and, don't communicate with the other side, check the machine guns along the ridge of the gorge and all that stuff. In my head, I was like, there is no way, if this is like a top secret, like countries come together to protect humanity against whatever's in this thing, ain't no way, if this is supposed to be secretive, they're gonna let this dude just walk away back into normal life, right? Which I was right. which was 100% right. When they pick up everybody, they say thank you for your service and 2 bullets, and he's done. So, uh, the first half I could describe it as the action thriller romance because it's establishing the relationship between Levi and Drasa back and forth. Drasa, who has her own trauma, I guess, or her own turmoil, because before she left, her father, who's riddled with cancer, told her that, within a year before the cancer can take him fully, he's going to end his own life, and he's going to do it on February 14th. I don't know why he picked Valentine's Day. Maybe Valentine's Day is just an American thing. Sure. And to light a candle for him and look into the sky. And I will say that particular scene in the beginning was really well shot, well acted, well paced, well lit. Because the first half of this movie, my God, please light your shit, man. I have a newer TV and I can't see shit sometimes. I cannot see anything. What is going on? Light your sets, light your nights, do it. It's easy. Just light your shit. Anyway, the first half establishes the relationship, and I felt like even though it was an hour long, it was an hour too long. And there's better ways to write to maybe get the relationship between the two. When it's Strauss's birthday while they're at post, and they've sneakily each have glanced at each other from a distance with binoculars and such. She on her birthday, she fires a gun in the air to get his attention, ask him his name, and they start this flirtatious relationship, and we get this flirtatious montage of them back and forth until February 14th comes. He sees her crying, and he then finally establishes that he needs to go over there. Wrote a poem for her, everything, right? He ziplines it over. They have a romantic night together of dancing and fornicating and whatever, right? They're both very good looking people. Have at it, guys. On his way back, because obviously he has to go back and check on things, make sure things are working. They have to do a monthly radio check. His lip line breaks and he falls into the gorge. Now, before this midpoint, because this is literally the midpoint of the movie, we do get a scene with the Hollow Men climbing up, and you do see them, and they're the Lovecraftian, they almost look like clickers, I guess. Or I can't remember the game. I think it's not Last of Us. There was another really popular zombie game that had them. Anyway, we do see these guys. They're pretty CGI'd. If there was practical effects in there, I can't tell. If they did practical and then did CGI, then the CGI has overtaken this. So halfway through the midpoint, Levi falls into the gorge, and then we get the other half of the movie, which I was like, okay, we're here. We're gonna have fun. This is gonna be cool. I love Lovecraftian horror. It's gonna be cosmic and question your own self and humanity, and it's supposed to be the gates of hell that are down there. Uh Again, cool concept. Weird execution, I guess. It was very much green screen town down there. Every other scene had a different color concept to it, where it's just smoke with either orange or yellow or purple or blue. They meet these creatures that look like very overgrown, modified bugs that you would find in a video game to kill. And what they eventually find out is they find a town, and I will say this is probably my favorite part of the whole movie. Was they found a town that was established down there, because they later find out that they were doing chemical warfare down there, and it just got out of hand. They go into a church, and the design of the church is very much reminds me of Silent Hill. This whole town, very much Silent Hill aspect to it. And they're in there, and then there's these overgrown spiders that, granted, it is a little too dark to tell, but I'm pretty sure they have skull bodies, and I was like, this is like a D&D adventure, right? The party is stuck. We've got these weird evil creatures coming at us, and they're shooting them and such. They also find out that if they're exposed to the smoke down there or the fog down there, within 5 days they'll know if they're infected. When they eventually barricade themselves in an area of the gorge, that they find a lab, they find out the secret that, it's not a supernatural thing. It's humanity destroying basically humanity. And Basically, what happens when you're infected with this thing, you kind of combine yourself with animals and plants, and again, very Lovecraftian. The very cool concept and design. I just wanted more of it. They also find out that the company that hired Levi and Rasa are studying what's going down in the gorge to make super soldiers. So that's why they haven't destroyed it. They do have a way to destroy it. They just selfishly, just like all generic evil corporations, want to keep it going because they're making money off of it. So they eventually get out of the gorge. The evil corporation finds out they were down there. They send people out to kill them. They eventually destroy the gorge. This is very fast paced, I know. Eventually destroy the gorge. Levi sacrificing himself, Drassa getting away with the poem that Levi wrote for her. So sweet. Anyway, we fast forward. She goes to, I believe it's Greece, and she told him, I will wait for you in a sense to see if you show up. This was established in dialogue earlier on, and he never shows up. She moves on with her life. She decides, instead of being an assassin, espionage spy, I'm going to be a waitress. So she does that, and he shows up, and they live happily ever after. She does this quirky thing of, you're late. And he's like, yeah, I had shit to do. Like maybe survive pummeling into water and the injuries that he sustained. And they kiss and sail off into the sunset. They don't actually sail off into the sunset, but that's the concept. So, would I recommend this? Sure, if you have Apple TV, you don't have to pay for it. You're already subscribed. Check it out. It is a good, maybe, introduction to the idea of Lovecraftian horror. Again, I like Scott Derrickson. He's got stronger work in his filmography. I recommend Sinister. Well, maybe not for a newbie, because that's pretty dark. Black Phone, maybe? Yeah, try Black Phone. Anyway, it's a good middle ground. So, like, if you have your significant other who's maybe not too much into horror, it has horror aspects of it, but it's more of a spy thriller, or I don't know what they were trying to do here. Again, I still feel like it's two movies mashed into one. Pacing's interesting. It's the first half lags, like I said. I think they could have shortened it a little bit. I think I wanted more of the second half, but that's a personal preference. Dialogue was okay. Character establishment, again, it took a little bit long, but it was there. It was well written. It was well put together. And the chemistry between the two are great. They're great actors. They're phenomenal actors. Like, they're very upcoming. I like them both. I don't know. I can't say it's not a no for me, dog, because I would out of 10, let's go with 10. Out of 10, I would say it's a 5 or 6. It's a decent movie. You'll find problems with it, or you'll just turn your brain off and enjoy it. So, with that being said, that is my review of The Gorge. Please let me know what you thought of it. If you've seen it, leave comments below. If you didn't like it, I also want to know that as well. And also, my question for my audience, do you like this review this way I'm doing reviews instead of the highly edited where you get videos and just me talking over it? Do you like me just rambling to the camera? I'm trying something new here, seeing if you guys like this better. So please leave me a comment below. And until next time, folks, stay spooky.